What's good, Shadow Gang? Welcome back to another video. If y'all new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications and watch my previous videos. And yeah, go follow me on my socials. Y'all already know the drill. Okay. So, y'all clicked the video, y'all saw the thumbnail, and I'm hoping y'all read the title. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, and I'm gonna straight up just give you my thoughts and explain it as much as I can without dragging it. But Damian Priest has been the only real good world heavyweight champion since they brought back the World Heavyweight Championship. That is my opinion. And I'm going to give it to you straight up. So we all know how the World Heavyweight Championship came back. By this time, Roman Reigns was on top. He was on top of the game. The man was literally Universal Champion for, I think by this point he beat Brock's record, of course, with 500 something days. And at this point he won the WWE Championship, unifying it at WrestleMania. I want to say, what was it? Shit. Damn, how did I forget already? Oh, it was WrestleMania 38, I believe, right? Basically, the same WrestleMania where Cody Rhodes came back. He went against Brock. Cool. By this point, it's been so long, and you know, Triple H made that speech of, we need a champion that's actually going to show up. We need a champion that's actually going to defend the title on a weekly basis or show up on a weekly basis. Basically, the same fucking speech that Roman gave when Brock was the Universal Champion, which isn't it funny how Roman was supposed to be this baby face, Brock is the heel, he barely shows up, and then Roman ended up becoming that. I'm just saying, it's crazy to me. It's crazy because then you also could say the same thing about Cena, but in the Rock thing, yeah, no, different video for a different day. Anywho, point is this, that was happening at that time. We all know that. And they introduced the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, when it first got introduced, everybody, well, I want to say for the most part, everybody was happy. I was happy. But there were some comments that were like, this, like, for example, one of the posts that I saw, it was the picture of the World Heavyweight Championship. It was available, and the caption was like, dang, this is the, all right, here you go title. Like, because, you know, people kept begging for it to come back up to this point. And literally, low-key, when you look at it, it kind of does feel like, okay, here's your gold title. Like, leave me the hell alone. Like, damn, here you go. You know? Because it's like, you know, I was expecting, like, the words to be there saying World Heavyweight Championship, like the old one, just a little bit different. But I do like the design, though. Don't get it twisted. I think the design is very beautiful. So I do like it. But yeah, so they had tournaments about it, and I remember everybody was doing a tournament for it, and the final two were Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping AJ Styles would have won it. I thought AJ should have won it, and he should have been the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. Because I remember when it first came out, I think the rumor was that this title was continuing the reign from 2002 when it brought back from Triple H, you know, because I think it restarted there too. Because before it was just the WCW World Title, but the Invasion angle and all that was happening, you know. So I could be wrong. That was the rumor, but it turned out it was like separate. So Seth is basically the first ever World Heavyweight Champion of WWE when it comes to this version of the title. It's sort of the best way I can compare is like the Cruiserweight Championship. Remember back in the day you had Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy with the Cruiserweight Championship. Then Horshaw won it. It disappeared. And then they made a new one. So yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. If you know, you know. But yeah, so Seth wins it. Again, I thought it should have been AJ. I felt like AJ could have done some cool stuff with it. But, you know, it's cool, Seth. Now, the problem with Seth's title reign, it was way too long, in my opinion. Way too long. Like, I'm talking about, it started in 2023 and it ended in 2024. Way too long. Now, usually, the reason why I had a problem with that, especially as the months kept going on, is because we were already seeing Roman with this long-ass title reign, and I'm one of the few people that really didn't fuck with that title reign as much as other people did with Roman. So to see Seth, a guy who I have said publicly before, what Seth is to Triple H is what Roman was to Vince McMahon. to see him hold that title for so long, it's like, okay, you could have had a nice little 3 to 6 months reign at best and then drop it. But no, they didn't, you know? So yeah, he just kept hogging the title in my opinion. Like, yeah, you're the first one to hold that belt, but yo, he was hogging it in my opinion. And there was moments where everybody thought he was going to lose it, and he didn't. And he sort of, in my opinion, became Roman Reigns 2.0. The only difference is we see him on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? So he was a fighting champion, so we got that. And I think that's why me and most other people were like, all right, at least he's defending the damn shit, not winning every other 2-3 PLEs, you know? But it just dragged so much so that by the time he was shooting with Finn, the story was perfect for Seth to drop it. I think they had a couple of matches, as a matter of fact. But the main one that should have happened was the SummerSlam match they had. I felt that was the perfect time for Seth to lose the title. But it didn't happen. Finn lost. And I hated it because they were really building tensions between, you know, freaking Damian and Finn. Which I felt like more tensions would have made sense if Damian, who was Mr. Money in the Bank at the time, and Finn, who would have been the World Heavyweight Champion. That's more tension than everything. And then Finn can finally rewrite the one wrong of his career that literally ruined his career. Because it was Seth who injured Finn Balor. And Finn had to get sidelined for like until the Raw after Mania of the next year. Of what was that, 2017? Like, it was crazy to me, man. So, or 2018, it was one of those. But it was crazy to me that didn't happen. And it was like, oh, okay, now what? You know? But then Shinsuke Nakamura match with Seth happened, right? I really thought they were going to give it to Shinsuke. Because they rebranded Shinsuke to be this dope-ass freaking comic book character thing. Like, he was talking in straight Japanese and we had English subtitles. And then the art styles was like in comic book form, like anime type of comic. And I fucking loved it. Like, and it was so fucking cool. But again, they did nothing with it. And then eventually that title became Cody should pick this championship over Roman's title, which, let's be honest, and this is not even just looking back at it. Let's look at it now. We all knew damn well Cody was not going to pick Seth. No matter how hard they try to make that title with Seth being like, this is the working man's title. This is the title that your father wouldn't want you to win it. The story at that point was so obvious going to be Roman. No Rock, no Seth would have fucking intervened. Let's keep it a buck. It just wasn't. And then, like, the World Heavyweight Championship wasn't even one of the main focus at Mania. It got overlooked by Seth teaming with Cody, being his shield, to go against The Rock and Roman. Literally. And I hated that. And at that point, I'm like, Seth has to drop it. So night 2 comes, the opener show. And I remember, that was like my first live stream I did on this channel. Seth drops it to Drew, which they had a nice match. And dope entrances. Drew did his thing. At this point, Punk came back. You know, tensions were rising. At this point, I think they wanted to Punk to freaking win the belt from Seth or have a match, and they were going to continue a feud, but Punk got injured at the Rumble. Cool. But yo, Drew beat him. Cool. Drew does his thing, taunts Punk. 5 minutes later, Damian comes out, cashes in, and becomes El Champion or a Campeón. Which I marked the fuck out. Like, literally go to my lives, like, you know, the section on YouTube where you can go live and literally see the first, like, I want to say 15, 30 minutes, because that match wasn't that long, but it was long enough to skip. I marked the fuck out because, you know, Puerto Rico, cool, Damian became the champ. Now, Damian, at this point, was getting a lot of criticism. They're like, everybody wanted LA Knight to be Mr. Money in the Bank. So did I. But I also said, if I had to pick a second guy, it would be Damian, and Damian ended up winning. And I was happy to see him finally win that world title because everybody's like, he's not going to cash in. He's going to have a failed cash in. It's not going to make any sense. Homie did it at WrestleMania 40, night 2, the last day of WrestleMania. And that's how they opened the show. Dude killed it. And to me, he had an amazing title reign. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all his matches were cool. Like, the Jey Uso one, I really could live without seeing that one. I can keep it a buck. It was a nice match. But we didn't have to see Jey Uso in that title reign. But once he started feuding with Drew McIntyre, and those guys went at it, yo, those matches were dope. You know what I mean? I love the match they had, and I want to say Clash of the Castle or something like that, and Drew was getting, a pop because they were near his hometown of Scotland or UK around there or some shit. But Damian ended up retaining because of Punk shenanigans, and all that shit if I remember. But then I remember not too long after that feud kept going. The tensions between Finn and Damian kept going. And to me, he was starting to get over with the crowd. As a matter of fact, I want to say a month or two after that, at this point, me and many people online, and I know you guys don't remember this, we all were saying that Damian's title reign was low-key more enjoyable than Cody, because I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to say the first 2-3 months of Cody's title reign, it was not it. It was not it. Cody was just there, like, honestly. I think he was still feuding with Solo or some shit because Roman disappeared. It just wasn't it. It just wasn't it, So, yeah, they thought, at that point, they thought the Randy feud was going to start, but that just kept building, and till this day, nothing happened. The Rock thing happened, the Raw after Mania, and we didn't see him until literally October of that year. So, literally, Damian was doing his thing as world champion. But it was just like, he was the perfect champion, in my opinion. He had the look, his style worked, he did good in his promos, like he was doing so good. But then towards, I want to say, well, it was around SummerSlam. At this point, he had a dope match with Seth Rollins that was amazing, but the finish got a little messed up because people thought he got concussed over a move and forgot to kick out. Let's be honest, looking back at it, it was so obvious. First of all, I knew it the minute it happened, but people try to say, oh, he forgot to kick out or he got concussed. I'm pretty sure the spot was that Drew, because Drew won. Oh no, this was Money in the Bank. Drew won the Money in the Bank briefcase that night and tried to cash in the same night. And the typical spot, the ref goes 1, 2, but then someone's theme music hits and everybody gets distracted, which is a dumb spot. I don't know why they ever did it, but they did it that night and it failed because the song didn't hit on time. It hit a couple seconds after that, and then you had Drew come in. But then Punk cash in, and then Punk costs him because, they were feuding, and then boom, Damian retained. And it was crazy, man. But Damian was doing his thing. Now, at this point, King of the Ring already happened. Gunther is the next up for the championship. And Damian and Gunther ended up having a dope-ass feud. Like, literally, it was one of the dopest feuds ever. Like, the brawls they kept having, it was so dope. And Damian's promo were so fucking good, too. Even people that, didn't even like him started to appreciate him. And my favorite segments were when they started brawling and they went backstage and the whole night they just brawled. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the next episode, the very next week, started with them two brawling? It looks like they flew just to brawl. It was crazy. These guys were killing it. But, SummerSlam happened and Damian lost the championship. Now, what was disappointing about that is that it ended quicker than what I would have liked. I felt like at least one more month or two, it could have been good. Because his title reign, it wasn't too long, but it wasn't too short. And he got enough done to prove, hey, he did his thing. So to see him, not even in the mid-card right now, it's a little upsetting. I'm not going to lie. I'm really not going to lie. But to me, he so far had the best title reign when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship. It just makes sense. Because after that, Gunther did his thing. Yeah. Here's the problem. Gunther legit had a match with Randy for the World Championship. I think that was his first title defense. But the thing with him is, the only reason that happened was because during King of the Ring, when he pinned Randy, one of Randy's shoulders went up, but the ref didn't catch it, so they had to fix it up. And that was the dope match. They had a dope-ass match. I think they were in Gunther's hometown, too. And it was cool. But then after that, I think it just didn't click no more because WWE fucked it up. And then out the blue, we barely saw Gunther for weeks. So, like, I remember, I can't remember if he was there for the first Raw on Netflix. Like, we didn't see him in weeks. Cody was showing up on Raw. Cody's a SmackDown superstar. At this point, Cody's a SmackDown superstar. As the time of this recording, he still is. Cody is a SmackDown superstar, and especially at that time, and he was the WWE Championship. That's SmackDown. Well, WWE Undisputed Championship. What the fuck is he doing on Raw? That should be Gunther, but we didn't see Gunther for weeks, and then he popped up randomly, and it was like, okay, our world champion is back, finally. But then he gets in a feud with Jey Uso. Like, yeah, he had a couple other feuds here and there, but like the guy that went from feuding with Drew and Sheamus with the IC title and having dope ass title defenses, we got a fucking Uso, like a yeet dude, as your main focus, as the guy that's gonna, basically take the title away from you. And keep in mind, they even teased the Goldberg thing that ended up happening, the retirement match. But that could have been done for Mania. I would have preferred to see that. And I like Goldberg, but I gotta keep it a buck. He's just not that good of a wrestler when it comes to like having a good match. I'll say it. And I like Goldberg. But the Jey Uso thing made no sense to me. Gunther beat him so many times up to that point. It's like, bro, put Damian back in this bitch. Put Drew in this bitch. Do something. But that title reign didn't happen. He was gone for weeks, and then his main focus was Jey Uso, and then he taps out so quick at Mania. And then Jey Uso has a title reign. Literally nothing was memorable about it. Nothing. I can't remember a single thing. And his title reign was 3 title reigns ago, but like a month or 2 or 3 ago. What the fuck? That shit, I'm sorry. It just wasn't it. It didn't click. And he lost it to Gunther anyways. That was just a feel-good moment. It was just not it. So that title reign was trash. There's nothing much I can say about Jey Uso because he really did nothing as world champion. He really did nothing as world champion. Shit. And then, after him, Gunther wins it back. A few weeks, he was champion. A month at best. He lost to the Punk. Punk only had it for 5 minutes or some shit. Seth comes back, and 1, 2, 3, Seth is champion again. And once again, he's World Heavyweight Champion. And once again, this title reign's not clicking. No one, in my opinion, has had a good title reign. Mainly because, one, Punk, he only had it for a few minutes. Same with Drew. Jey was never going to be a good world champion, in my opinion. It was just so obvious. Gunther, they fucked up. All they had to do was just let him do what he was doing with the IC title. But for some reason, they just put him in the shelf for a few weeks. And it's crazy, it felt like months. And then gave him back the title just so he can have a Goldberg match where he's going to win, but then lose it. Like, what? Like that, nothing happened. Damian's title reign has so far, in my opinion, has been the only real good world title run when it comes to a World Heavyweight Championship. That's just my opinion. Like the dude, because there were so many different stories with Damian. Damian had the Finn Balor tension and the Judgment Day tension, right? Then you also had Drew McIntyre trying to get his championship back, and then Drew was facing with Punk. And remember, Punk was the original rumored to be the original plan for Seth at that year's Mania. So you have Punk involved, you have Seth involved, and then eventually Gunther got involved when he won King of the Ring. There were so many different people that were wanting the title when Damian had it. Because when Damian was champion, so many different people wanted the belt. So many different stories was happening, and they were all intertwined together. They weren't just a bunch of different shit just happened to be together. No, it all made sense. With everybody else, Seth's title reign legit, it was just so fucking long. The first one, this one, I hope it's not that long. I'm already seeing people say this is gonna last until Mania. I don't want it to last until Mania. I really don't. Like, I know it's been months since the last Mania, but it feels like Mania just happened yesterday. I don't want to wait. Like, I know we're in August, almost September, but I don't want to wait. I'm sorry. This cannot it. And the Paul Heyman shit, it's just not clicking. I said it in so many different videos. I'll say again, the Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman thing, it's just not clicking. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed deserve way better. That's my opinion. But yo, Damian has been the only real good world champion in my opinion. And the fact, and again, this is my opinion, and there's also proof to back it up. But the fact that he's not even involved right now with any mid-card, I think he's right now he's in a feud with Aleister Black that has to do with R-Truth / Ron Killings. And I like that because I always wanted him and Truth to win the tag titles ever since their funny, skit with the Judgment Day shit. But yo, you got Seth involved in this shit. The only positive about it is that LA Knight's involved. And other than that, I don't really give a fuck about this, man. Seth doesn't need this world title. I feel like he's hogging it. And the fact that he's having a fatal 4-way, and again, you got Punk, you got Knight, you got Jey Uso. It's like, how do I replace Jey Uso and put Damian Priest? But I get it. You got to do business or whatever, or merchandise or whatever the fuck it is that Jay's doing so good, or crowd reaction. But, dude, what the fuck? Damian has only been the real good world champion when it comes to World Heavyweight Championship. I said it once, I'll say it again. And I'll stand on that. So, I just wanted to come here and tell y'all that if you look back at it, Seth's title reign, the first one was way too long, and he really didn't need it. Again, I think AJ should have won it. Finn could have easily beaten him. Shinsuke should have beaten him. Drew only had a few minutes. Damian actually had dope-ass opponents, in my opinion. And again, so many stores were involved. Freaking Punk only... Gunther, they did nothing with him for the most part. And then freaking... Punk only had it for a few... again, I keep forgetting Jay because Jay was so unmemorable. I thought him and Sammy might have done something, or him and Jimmy, but nothing happened at all. He just lost it to Gunther, and then Gunther just defeated Goldberg on his last match, which was kind of predictable. But again, with Goldberg, it's like you never know, But for the most part, yeah, it's a retirement match. Of course, he's not going to win no world title in his last match. And then Punk wins it, loses it to Seth. In a few minutes. It made no sense, man. Like, I don't understand it, man. But again, in my opinion, Damian has been the only real good world champion. I'll stand on that. And yeah, I hope LA Knight's the next one to be a world champion. I don't want to see, or Punk or just LA Knight. I don't know, either or. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you agree or you disagree. If you made it this far to the video, if not, cool. But just tell me why. Put a comment down below. And please follow me on all my socials, especially my Instagram. That's where I post when I drop a new vid every other day or so. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Shadow out, man. Peace.
And if you hear this sound, then go on bend your back, go on bend your knees, baby, shake it to the max. Will the DJ please turn up the bass to the max? Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.